knows this thing. Hey, everybody. I'm in the background singing, doing my thing. Hey, everybody. This is Geneva of Geneva's Closett Talk Show. Please make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at what? At Geneva's Closet. And you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. Hey, what's up, people? Happy Sunday. How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining me this evening. I know this is almost like a pop-on. Me and Essie decided to pop on today, so I want to thank my co-host today because her opinion is always needed and is always valued and very much needed. Miss Essie Berry. How you doing, Miss Berry? How you doing this evening? Wait a minute, she muted. How you doing?
Okay. I'm good. First of all, your whole investigation, how you do things, how you break everything down, that I need to do. You don't need that. But I like being on the platform just as well. And I appreciate that and thank you. Hello, everybody.
No problem. What you say?
I was going to say, I didn't hear that because when you mute me, I don't hear that echo. When you don't, I do. I'll try to make sure I'm muted on this end too. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy the live. Remember one thing, you guys. We are here to agree to disagree. I have my opinion. Geneva has hers. A lot of people been emailing me about this when it first happened, but we wanted to let everybody get their little story out. Now we finna put our input in and see what we come up with. On you, partner.
Absolute Mundo. So we're just kind of just talking back and forth about this whole Travis Scott thing. Don't forget to subscribe to me and SCB. I thought I had something on here where it said my name and your name, but I guess I'm gonna have to just click back and forth through it. But first of all, we want to say thank you to everybody that's here today, everybody in the chat. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. But I guess I first want to say prayers to everyone who was affected by this Travis Scott Astroworld concert event, because it's really unfortunate. It's a seriously unfortunate situation, and I think so because, of course, no one thought that they were going to go to a concert and die. Like, that's what was going to happen. Not the people, I'm pretty sure, not Travis Scott. No one thought that they were going to go to this concert and pass away, but what are they saying that happened? Are they saying that people was running and people just got trampled over? Or, because I know at first they were saying something about a security guard got stuck in the neck with some drugs or something. So did that actually happen? Essie, did you hear anything about that?
I did not.
Because I'm trying to figure out, what actually caused it. Was it just people running and stuff? Okay, well, my opinion is this. Now, the first thing that I thought, so we'll just go with this. First thing that I thought when I had heard about the Travis Scott situation and the people had that, I seriously thought that it was unfortunate. But I was like, because they were saying that it was Travis Scott's fault. And I was like, is it really? Because have y'all ever paid attention to one of his concerts? Now, it's not that I'm a huge rap fan, but for whatever reason, sometime, I think it was the earlier part of this year or last year, I just happened to see one of Travis Scott's concerts. And I felt like he was amped in that concert. He wasn't probably like a typical rapper standing there in the middle of the stage with his pants sagging. He was literally moving all around the stage. And to me, he kind of had almost like a rocker vibe feel for the concert, just saying, because I think that he don't just have a lot of black fans. I think he got a lot of white fans too. And to me, when I was looking at the concert, it looked like people were kind of running into each other. Don't you know, like them white rocker concerts, you see them running into each other, like bumping chests and stuff, because white people kind of do that sometimes. That's just what they be doing sometimes. So that's what type of concert it was. And I even seen Travis Scott at this particular concert. He had went back on the stage and then ran out into the crowd, and the crowd was carrying him as he went through. And I'm like, wow, this is a pretty amped concert. So that's the first thing that I thought about, was like, how is it his fault when his concerts are always kind of amped like that? Like his concert, I think, is like a mixture of people. Like I said, white and black people, and it's kind of be, like I said, just have that rocker feel. So I just didn't understand why it was his fault. And then they were saying that everybody was suing him because they said that he has concerts like this. And I'm like, well, the people that be throwing the concert events, they know that, because I know they pretty seen his other concert. And then look, here go the thing about Travis Scott. I believe that they know how big he is and the people he can bring in. Because remember, Travis Scott was the one who that video game, my son is not even here, he at work. It was a video game concert that they had, was it the earlier part of this year or the end of last year? And Travis Scott was inside the video game concert, because my son paid for tickets. Like, it was actual tickets. For the parents who didn't know, parents, the video game. Travis Scott turned into a video game character and was inside the game walking around singing one of his songs, and all the kids was in the video game like flying around and stuff with him, because I didn't even know that my son had took some of his little allowance money and bought a ticket or whatever to be at this concert in the video game. And I guess depending on however much money you spent on your ticket was how close you can get to Travis Scott's character while he was walking all around. I don't know where he was walking around, Houston or the world, because I think he was even in the solar system or whatever in the game. And I was just like, wow, the people, the high places, the video game people, they must have really knew that he was going to bring in this type of money or bring in this many type of people. And like I said, not just black people, or a lot of white people and stuff too, to have him for this video game. So I just didn't understand how it was his fault. And then as more things unfold, because I was looking on, because I follow the Shade Room on Instagram. And did y'all see the video of the girl? Because I don't know. I think they said that she passed away. But there's a video of the police security guard of the concert, right? And they're carrying the girl, because I don't know if she had passed out or something already, but they're carrying her over the rope. And they're like holding her legs and her butt area, but it don't look like no one was trying to get her head and stuff. So as they were carrying her, I wish I had like some paper or something. As they were carrying her over the rope, they only got the bottom part, and her head literally hits the pavement, boom, real hard. And like everybody in the comments was like, whoa, like that's kind of extreme. So how can you blame that on Travis Scott? That could have been the police or something. Then there's another video where Travis Scott is on stage doing his thing, and security or police, they got their phones, which I'm pretty sure they were excited too. It's Travis Scott through the concert. They got their phones and they're recording the whole thing. And so people were like, so I guess just more things are unfolding to make people be like, was it really his fault? Was it the venue fault? Was it security fault? I heard that 40-something people, that he was being sued by 40-something people. I don't know. I would have to go back and read. It said 40-something people, but like 8 people had died or whatever. And I was like, 40-something people? Who's the 40-something people? And then sometimes you don't know if people are just doing stuff to be opportunists. So are they really suing because they were really affected, or because they was like, oh, hell no, I got scarred too. Oh, yeah, something happened to my shoulder. I'm going to try to see if I can get some money too. But I found this article that I want to read right quick, and this is what the article says. The article says, and I don't even know where it's coming from, Yahoo Life. It says, since launching Astroworld Festival in 2018, Travis Scott has earned millions from the annual concert event. According to Forbes, Astroworld grossed a total of $53.5 million in 2019 alone. While the festival was canceled in 2020, it still sold out prior to its cancellation. Initial earnings from his 2021 Astroworld Festival, meanwhile, have yet to be disclosed, but Celebrity Net Worth reports that the rapper has made around $65 million overall from the festival. These earnings may dwindle, however, as sources told Variety on November 8th, 2021, that Scott planned to provide full refunds to all who purchased tickets to the 3rd annual Astroworld event. Reports at the time also revealed that the Houston rapper pledged to cover the funeral costs for the 8 people that died at his event, as well as provide additional aid and access to mental health services to those affected by the tragedy. So yeah, he done made a whole lot of money and stuff from this event. But yeah, so what do you think about it, Miss Essie? What do you think about it?
Hey, she had to catch herself. I said, "Let me call me Miss Berry. You know my names." I saw you stumble. While you were saying that, so they said from 14 to the age 27, that's the ages that got hurt. One, I'm looking at too, it said it was over 500 police officers there. They had something going on in the back where the people was rushing through, so they didn't have enough security to go with everything, because it was over 50,000 people there. 50,000 people, 500 cops, I don't know. I would look at the organizer, because like you did that. You booked that whole situation. You booked that whole festival, whatever the case may be. And I also said, I don't know who the concert is for, because I see y'all saying the Astro or whatever, but Drake and Travis, they said they went on at the very end. They didn't even know anybody had passed away until after it was announced and everything was going on. So now, do you blame them? So going back to what Geneva said his concerts like that anyway. Really, I don't really pay attention because I'm not all into rap like that. But then because of the people who got hurt, that treat my, me want to see more and read more. Me and Geneva was going back and forth. But what I look at is, though, too, no disrespect to anybody, because I know if it was my child and he was there, I wouldn't just be going after Travis. I wouldn't just be going after the people who were singing. I wouldn't just be going after people on the platform. I would go after everybody who put it together, the facility that it was in. I would go to everybody who booked the tickets. Anybody who promoted that is just not Travis. Because he's a bigger name, everybody, here we go again. You want to shoot the messenger instead of listening and looking at the whole message. Some people say it's demonic. It could have been demonic, but it was 50,000 people there being demonized or whatever. And as Geneva said, it was black as well as white. When you're going through things like that, it's easy to point fingers at whoever. But what you should be just doing is everybody should be looking in the mirror at themselves, because I would fault the promoters again before anyway. And then the 500 police officers, they could control a 50,000 crowd of people, but they tried. So to me, it was a lot of stuff that wasn't on point. And when you're doing large crowds and this boy get off like he get off and his stuff be all hyper, then it's for those people who are organizing that to set more in motion that wouldn't have happened. Because this one little boy, that was his first concert, 9 years old, just wanted to get out the house, just have some fun. It was children there. And as soon as somebody hears something, because I didn't see nothing was said about a gunshot, I just saw where they say they had been compromised. And when Travis and Drake was on stage, people were coming through the back door. And so then when they said compromise, I think when everything went on, everybody just freaked out. So it's really unfortunate that those people lost their lives. But when we doing that, I'm just personally saying myself, I would be angry, but I let my son win, or I let my people win, or whoever went. But I could not just physically in my mindset blame those guys who was up there singing, can't see what's going on, all on the floor. I couldn't just blame them like that when we had police officers there, when we had PR people there, when you had people that in that vineyard. They should have had their own security, whoever was in that vineyard. Okay, go G.
Yep, that's true. And yeah, thank you, Miss G girl. She said Fortnite. That's exactly what it was, Fortnite. Because I had no idea. I was shocked when my son told me. I was like, I didn't even know. Nobody told me nothing. That he had bought tickets for a video game with Travis Scott. So I went back and watched. So I went on YouTube because the concert had already happened. I went on YouTube. So I'm like, what is this? A concert on TV? Right, because it was during the Corona time. A concert on a video game, and I thought it was pretty dang on cool. I thought it was pretty cool, and I was like, wow, they must have really thought he can bring in some money for him to do a concert on Fortnite video game. Some people said that they believe that it was the ritual thing. First thing I thought about that when I seen the ritual thing is, Lord Jesus, every time it's something with a celebrity, it got to be some type of Illuminati ritual. I was like, how come sometimes just a series of unfortunate events can't happen? Unfortunate events can't happen. How come sometimes that just can't happen? The people just can't die. Like sometimes bad things happen. It just had to be a ritual. And just like sometimes it's everything. Like sometimes it's not Illuminati. Sometimes it's not a ritual. Sometimes it's not really racism. Sometimes it's just stuff happens. And then for my people that, I don't know like if everybody remember that, because I don't know if this was Chicago news or if this was everyone news. But this incident, the rushing of the people, just like Essie said, all of them people that were there at this concert with just a little bit of security. So we know security can't really do nothing with all of those people. But all of those people running rushing is like a herd of bulls. That's a lot of people. So when I heard about the story about the little boy, so what did the father say? Ezra Blunt? Blunt? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. His father said his father was speaking out about the 9-year-old. Because didn't he say that he said he was stoked and he was ready to go to this concert. And then he said, what did he say? He was in the back, way in the back. And I figured, okay, this is cool because the front get a little wild. So he said he was in the back because the front get a little wild. However, the concert still got out of hand and Treston passed out from the pressure of the crowd. And Ezra, the 8-9-year-old who was sitting on his father's shoulders, then fell and was trampled on. I mean, visually, just with your mind, you can see that. That little baby laying on the ground and the herd of bulls of people just running over that baby. Like, I'm pretty sure they probably stumped on his organs and on his little bitty head and stuff. And that's what it said. Ezra had already been taken to the hospital because his major organs had been damaged and he had brain swelling. Totally makes sense. 3,000%, because it's a herd of bulls coming towards you. He said that I could tell that he was damaged. I'm not ready to lose my boy at all. We still got a bunch of living to do because he's a baby. But that just made me think of this incident that happened years ago. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone so I can see what year this was. It was the E2 nightclub in Chicago, and this happened in 2003, February 17th, 2003, and 21 people died because they all in the club just kicking it, right? And then to get in and out of the club, it's a doorway with a narrow staircase that leads out. And whatever happened, in which 21 people died and more than 50 people injured when the panic ensued from the use of a pepper spray. They pepper sprayed. Everybody started running towards the door, trying to go down this small, narrow staircase, and fell on top of each other, people, and people died. 21 people died. So that is how dangerous a stampede can be. It obviously kills people. Well, yeah, they're gonna have to do some more investigation on that and find out what really happened with that whole with this Astroworld event.
I saw where someone said something and they were saying, like, you don't believe in the demonic rituals. They ain't just demonic rituals in the industry. There's demonic everywhere when you talk about rituals, because you got Satan as well as you got God. So, unless I see that for myself, that's one thing. I see people talk about it, that's one thing. I've signed contracts in Hollywood and I ain't seen no shit like that. I'm just telling you, maybe I ain't go up the ladder far enough. I'm not sure. I just think too, a lot of the music that we hear and listen, if it's cussing, if it's degrading women, to me, that's demonic. When you call a woman all out their name and you singing music, that's demonic. So what is really demonic when you listen to something that's going to degrade, devalue, or disrespect someone? That's demonic. That's, to me, like the same thing as what we're talking about here. But then, like, even with the disrespectful music we let our kids, you let your kids hear it, but you don't be listening to the words. You just listen to the beat. Start listening to the words when you see your kids popping around and dance around and jumping around. Listen to the words of the song instead of so much of the music. Because one day I was working on a client way back, and her little girl was in the shop. And the little girl was listening to a cartoon. The cartoon was cussing more than any of it that I had ever heard before. I said, ma'am, did you hear this cartoon? Did you hear what we said? She's like, oh my God, oh my God. I mean, but look, you watching your baby, but you ain't listening to the words because she's over there laughing at a cartoon. So to me, there's a lot of things demonic if you're going to say demonic. And if you think it's demonic, don't put yourself in that circle to be presented with that.
That's very true. And then, right, and I'm not saying that there isn't any Illuminati demonic isms, but I just don't think that every situation is that. And every time something happened with a celebrity, it always, like 99.9% of the time, have to be a ritual. It have to be some Illuminatiism that they doing some type of sacrifice. And I'm just like, I don't think it's that all the time. I think sometimes stuff just happens. Sometimes stuff happens. And yeah, about the girl, because y'all said that she had already passed away because she hit her head. So I think if I'm reading the right person's story, the Brianna Rodriguez, I think that it is, and they said that they were holding her I'm holding her the whole time. This is what someone said, but we fell back and we landed on our backs on the bottom of the pile, and she's telling me about how she can't breathe, and I'm letting her know I'm here. Like, I'm here, just breathe, but I'm down there. I'm trying to breathe myself, and I'm listening to her until I can't hear her anymore. I mean, ooh wee, yeah, that's very sad. So that's why I said condolences out to the family, to the victims, because that's a very unfortunate situation. I don't think anybody who went there or sent their children or family members there thought that these things were going to happen. It's just very sad. It really is. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I forgot. I don't know. I don't even know. Let me see. Let's see what the people say. Ken Jinx, K Jinx said it's all boo boo. The whole thing is demonic, and that's period, point blank, boo. Period, point, and all types of blanks. That's what K Jinx said. She don't give a damn. They don't give a damn what you talking about. It is all demonic. Ty said, we even sat alone in the stadium this weekend. Mob mentality is real. Ty letting you know how she feeling about the situation. Daily repentance, hearts, the kingdom is at hand. Said, this is why I am cautious on what I look at or listen to. And you gotta be careful with that, because it was something I was just doing something. Don't you know them sounds? You know, because I love listening to, at nighttime when I go to sleep, I love to put on thunderstorm music. This is just a fact. This is something that I do. I always put on thunderstorms and rains because I like to listen to that. Another thing I put on is that thing that be making that high-pitched sound or whatever, that it said it gets in your mind and help you with your vibrations and all of those type of things. But the more that I get into that, I'm noticing that a lot of songs got that high pitch thing in there too. So I'm like, wow, so if they're using the high pitch, it can be used to help you get in your Zen mode, to help you get whatever. And then they're taking that and they're putting that in the music too, so it can help you. And do y'all ever, sometimes you be sitting there minding your own business, living life in your house, watching TV, and all of a sudden you hear this high-pitched sound, and you like, do you hear that too? And the person like, I don't hear nothing. I'm like, but I hear that high pitch. I wonder if it's something that I don't know, that certain people can just hear and then other people can't hear, that you're more receptive to. But you do got to be careful with the music. I was just having a conversation with my son about that rapper. What's that gay rapper named Little Nas? Just was having a conversation with my son about Little Nas. That be careful what music that you listen to, son. Because you never know what you're listening to. Especially if you're not paying attention to the words. You be rapping some stuff and you rapping about gay stuff and you straight. And your friends be looking like, niggas, you gay? I didn't even know you were gay. And you're like, I'm not even gay, but you listening to the music, so you never know.
Geneva, when you say Lil Nas, do you know he finna be on Maury? He getting ready to be on Maury. Somebody cheating on him, and that's just like a whole nother level too. Like showing boys being pregnant and stuff. What do you think they're going to think about stuff like that? You may be a video for the time, so a lot of stuff is not looking like it should seem be. There's a lot of people still asleep, and then there's a lot of people that's woke. For the people that woke, they're going to analyze and see things a little bit clearer from the people who are still asleep in this world, because we still got to remember there is flesh and there are spirits. So you got to know which one of what you're going to do. I care not to be in any negative energy anymore, because when you be in a negative way, because I several things will trigger you and make you be some type of way you're not. Just like with that concert. Who would have knew, like Geneva said, you go to that concert, everybody have fun dancing, then all of a sudden people just start dying. But why? Wasn't no guns in there? Just because people ran in there? You got to make the right choices. And sometimes the right choices is just, maybe they'll just stay to yourself, because everybody wanted to go party. But when that happened, now everybody want to shoot the blame and nobody want to take accountability for what happened. Yeah, Miss Cheryl.
Yeah, because I would be ready to sue somebody too. I would sure be trying to sue. Cheryl said, this did not just start. It has been going on for years. People remember Michael Jackson's concert, because the end is drawing near. Satan, who was a musician, is using music. Okay, you heard that. You heard it. Cheryl told you, and that is true. Me and Chad was just talking about yesterday. Talking about that yesterday, the whole music thing. Michelle says it seems like almost everything on TV is demonic. It is really bad. Me and S was just talking about that the other day about the cartoons and stuff. Sitting up there watching cartoons, never know what they putting in there for the cartoons. God grief's sake, you just look at the cartoons like, what in the world? And then not even that, the commercials and stuff is just getting out of hand. Like I was looking at a commercial the other day of stick figures. I think they were showing a commercial of Love After Lockup, and they did it in stick figure form. And then next thing I know, the stick figures is like having sex with like a blur in front of it. And I'm like, is this like the middle of the day? Like, what the hell? It's in stick figure form. If a child seen this, a child would just automatically assume it's a cartoon. TV is just buck. But the thing about it is that the kids don't even know it's buck because they growing up in the buck form. We're the ones sitting back watching it like, that ain't what they used to do a few years ago. They didn't allow that to be shown on TV just a few years ago. I mean, stuff is buck. But it's the times. I'm pretty sure that's what my mom and grandma
say they didn't want to show panties, they didn't want to show bras, you couldn't show underwear, you kissing, loving. I mean that is a part of life, but I just think it kind of should be certain parts that just still shouldn't be because we still got kids, you know what I'm saying? And kids are like open-minded, they're gonna go for what they see. You can hear me?
Cheryl said, gay for pay. Gay for pay. And you know what? Maybe I might flip, go to another topic right quick, because y'all know how I am. I don't know how long I can stay on this topic. Right before I got on here, me and Chad was having a discussion. And I don't even know what this discussion came from. Chad was watching a video with Kanye West in it. It was Kanye West. I don't know if y'all are watching Marriage Boot Camp, but it's the rapper guy that's on Marriage Boot Camp that's married to the Hispanic girl, okay? So it's Kanye West, that rapper guy, and it's Larry Hoover's son. Y'all know Larry Hoover from the Gangster Disciples, whatever. His son is on that, right? So Chad watching the interview, and I guess Kanye West started talking about whatever he's talking about, okay? Now, I listen, because sometimes you got to just slow down when you listen to Kanye West, because he jumps from thing to thing to thing and not listen to how he's saying stuff, but what he is saying. So I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm like, so then I make my comment, Chad, pause it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I like Kanye because Kanye's smart or whatever, but, sometimes he throws me off or whatever, the pro-black thing or whatever, like, I don't know where he's at, because on one minute you speaking all of this truth, but then look at the type of wife that you married. You married this plastic broad, and that's why people be sad-eyeing you a little bit when you be talking about stuff. And then, right, and then I made a comment about, the pro-black thing, you're talking about black people, blah, 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 but then you got these expensive-ass shoes and this expensive-ass ugly clothes, them homeless clothes and stuff that he was wearing. So then Chad comment was, well, Geneva, I mean, black people... I was like, even though Jordan did it with the Jordans and stuff, but Kanye West shoes and stuff is just too expensive. So then Chad comment, that's the hubby for those of you who don't know. His comment was like, what, Geneva, black people ain't buying Kanye West clothes, because ain't nobody buying that, but them Yeezys, black people buy Yeezys. He said, but black people don't mind spending money on stuff. He was like, it's just like you when you had the moving business. You only trying to get one certain type of people. So the Yeezys is not for everybody. Just like when you had the moving business was not for everybody. It was only for the people that can afford it. So I'm like, yeah, that's true, whatever. So then me and Chad, I'm like, yeah, that's true, but I don't know, if you're doing pro-black, then don't pro-black means cheap? So then Chad was like, well, what is the meaning of pro-black? That's how the conversation. So what is the meaning of pro-black? So, so Chad started asking a little thing. So then I was like, okay, so what is pro-black? And Chad was like, okay, now don't give your opinion of what you think pro-black is. I mean, like, what do you think, bro? I said, okay. I said, well, based on my 43 years of being in life, from what I've seen and what I gather, what I believe pro-black is Democrat. You cannot be pro-black and be a Republican. Pro-black means that you only mess with black people. You only sleep with a black man, black woman, you have black kids. You cannot have mixed. Pro-black means natural hair, not wearing weaves and long fake nails, okay? Pro-black means poor. You got to understand the struggle. You got to be willing to go out there and pass out food to the homeless and understand that the struggle is real. Pro-black could never be, I don't think pro-black is driving a Lamborghini. I don't think pro-black is long eyelashes with weave hair all down my back. I don't think that's pro-black. I don't think pro-black definitely is not Republican. You cannot be a Republican and be pro-black. So then Chad, so Chad was like, wow, that's what I said, yeah. Pro-black is understanding that the struggle is real. So then Chad question to me was that, I forgot what his other question was, but his other question was basically, what does it mean for like what does it mean for black people to know that they can overcome, basically? And I was like, for black people to know that they can overcome is for them to believe that the white man can't hold them down anymore. I said, because black people put everything in the box of the white man is holding them down. Why are you living in that neighborhood? Because of gentrification, black people holding us, white people holding us down. Why is all black people getting killed? Because white people shooting us, white people holding us down. Why aren't you working a better job? Why are you still working minimum wage? Because white people are holding us down. So I think that so that was my opinion. Pro-black is understanding that you're poor and the struggle is real and being Democrat and naturals and all of that. So that's my opinion of pro-black. So that's where we're going to take this conversation to. Essie Berry, what is your opinion of what is pro-black? What is pro-black? Because actually this conversation went somewhere else, but I'm not going to take it there first. Where it actually led to. We're going to stick with this part.
Hell, I thought it was me. I'm pro-black. But I'm going to tell you, when she said it, I looked it up. It said pro-black is a lifestyle that encourages the economic growth and development of black people as a whole with the purpose of increasing wealth and population of the black people around the world, spending money with your own business, your own community, online, promoting black love, promoting self-encouragement. Black youth is the sole purpose of keeping uplifted black people in America to be proud. So basically it's saying, just like, no disrespect to anybody who's watching, Asians, they spend their money with them. We don't spend our money with each other. We are a pretty strong, prominent species of people. But to know that we don't be able to look at each other, we can't show each other self-love, or we can't reflect back on that, or we can't buy something because of the neighborhood, then we should stop and really look at everything that's going on. And Geneva said something, you couldn't be pro-black if you're a Republican, which probably is true, but back in the day, black people were Republicans, and then it changed to Democrats. How that shit happened, I don't even know. But the slaves were Republicans, and then the white folks were Democrats. So how did that change in so many scenarios? I really don't know. But that's when we need to just kind of study back on our history for ourselves. But then to be pro-black, I am about my people, but I'm about people in general. But I have to be about my people because I'm a black woman in society. And every day I walk out that door, I'm still black, no matter what I walk into. When I walk into a store, let me show you something. One day I walked in a store and I was in an all-white town. It was in Arizona. So the white lady say, I know you. I said, well, how you know me? She said, you're with that big black guy. I said, well, what makes you think I was with that big black guy? Why can't I be with that big white guy over there? Why I got to be like that? Automatically she assumed, which I was with him, but the way she did it, and then I had to break down the history from Black Americans, how we got over here. I gave her a whole damn history lesson within 10 minutes right there at that store, because when you came to me, you should have came differently. You saw my color instead of seeing me, which I saw you too. But I'm just saying, it was just the way she did it, like she knew me, because there weren't too many black people in that facility or in that area. So the black people stood out at the time. 3% black people, we gonna stand out.
Yeah, what point was I getting with this conversation? So, because I think that my conversation sometimes, because I still have a young child, right? So my son is 16 years old, and this is just me keeping it real. So I'm about to have a real conversation with y'all, and I'm pretty sure I talked about this before. Sometimes, I'm trying to think about my son and my children and ways that, I've totally talked about this before. I don't want my son that every time he does something, because I have a son, he's 16 going on 17, he's a dark-skinned black man. I don't want my son that every time he go do something, the first thing that pops on his mind is that I'm black. And are they looking at me crazy because I'm black? Is the police pulling me over because I'm black? I'm going to this job interview. I hope they hire me. I hope they don't be looking at me crazy and stuff because I'm black. You know, I don't want that to always be the first thing on his mind. I want his first thought to be when he walk in for a job interview that he's going to get the job interview, or he feeling good about it because he know that he's more than qualified. He don't give a damn if he goes in there and see 90% of the people sitting there waiting to be interviewed is white. That's neither here nor there, because my son's confidence about himself is so huge that he's not worried about that. But the only, and with the police, that the first thing on his mind is not that, oh my God, they're pulling me over because I'm a black man driving this car. Like, maybe you are being pulled over because you did something wrong or you didn't stop at the stop sign correctly. I just don't want that to always be on his mind first, because I want him to live a life where color does not always matter for him. Like, that's very important. So I try to think as a mother, what can I do? Because I really don't, because if as far as TV, don't y'all remember during the I think it was not the George Floyd situation, because it was before the George Floyd situation, but it was during when one of our black people was killed. And I remember looking on social media, Facebook, and it was videos, and you know, it's just so sad, little videos and memes where parents have to sit there and explaining to their black kids, when you go outside and you see the police officer and they say something to you, instantly stop and put your hands up and don't say anything, and know that your rights, and because you may get killed and you may get shot and you may, and on one hand, I understand, you know, you just trying to let them know what's going on in the world, but do you understand you put in the fear of God in these children? You are scaring the shit out of them parents. You have to be a little bit cautious on how you do that, because then I think that the first thing that do come across their mind, oh, the police is stopping me for this, they about to get me, and then a lot of the time that could cause a person to act a certain way. I just don't want my son to be that way, so I try to figure out what can I do as a parent to not have him think like that. Well, then maybe I just have to let him know what's going on in the world. Son, there is some racism going on. There are some people who's not going to like you because you're black, okay? And then, to be perfectly honest with you, it's deeper than that. You know, to explain it to a child, like, they might not like you because you're black. Because I'm black, what? Because my skin color black? Because I'm brown? But why, though? I mean, like, can you get deeper into that? You know, I don't know. They just don't like you because they fear you. They fear me, why? Because they feel like I'm going to do what? They fear that you're going to get, you know, that you're smarter than them and that you're better than them. So because they think I'm smarter, then they don't like all of us. So that's why they're trying to kill all of us. It's just so deep. And to explain it to a child so surface level when it's deeper than that, I don't even know. But just get this, people. Generation wise, okay? Generation wise. Slavery happened back when? Back in the 1600s, okay? And then we know about segregation and the they seeking the dogs and hosing our people down and hanging them, and we know lynching. We know all about that, okay? So all of that was going on in the 60s and stuff. It was huge and stuff in the 1960s and stuff. So like, if we keep on with the same rhetoric, it will be 2030. Our great grandkids will never get past that the white man is always holding us down. White people don't like us. We can never progress because of the white people. Because since white people want whatever, we can never come as a whole. And I think that sometimes when black people say that, it's like, ooh, who is you to be speaking like that? Why is you saying them things that you saying? But I just think that it needs to be said, because I don't want my granddaughter, or when my granddaughter have kids, for her to still be scared. You can understand your past, boo-boo. All day long, you can understand where you came from, where your people come from, but that do not have to define black people for the rest of our existence. I think that we will go to the year 2300 still talking about the white man is holding us down as far as where we live, how much money we make our communities, why we not together as husband, wives, and children as a whole family, because we even blaming that still on black people. That's because of what they did back in the day with Parent Planhood, and when they started Section 8 and public aid, it ripped the black families apart, and the black families obviously, still to this day, can't seem to get it together, because we still ain't coming together as a one. So when are we going to learn as a people and not always blame the other races? Like, so that's why I'm kind of at with it. I have to think about this long term for my whole generation of my line, my seed. You know, I don't want them scared. Every time they see a white person, they just shaking in their boots. Like, I don't even know. Am I going to get it? Are they going to accept me? You know, I mean, you know. What's your opinion, Essie?
I ain't like you shaking like that, first of all. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why I became a civil rights activist, because I saw so much negativity in the world towards my own race. We can try to explain anything we want to our children. I raised two sons. I got a 34 and a 36, grown as hell. But I always had the fear of that, because I see how the white people, is not all, because it's a hell of a lot of good white people as well as they're bad. But I'm from Georgia, so being from Georgia, I could smell a racist a mile away. But what you won't do, if you're a racist, I'm going to tell you that. If you're a liar, I'm going to tell you that. If I think you're a KK member, I'm going to tell you that. What I know is that when we voice our opinion, or we say something that's going to help define us or make us stand up a little bit more, then that means we're being rude, or we're being disrespectful, or we don't know how to talk to people. That's not what that means. That means that we've been talked down to so much in our life that we will not. I know I'm not. I won't be talked down to. Just like me and Geneva, we got our hair right now. It's locked. Back in the day, you walk over with something like this inside or anywhere, they wouldn't even want to hire you because you had braids. This girl from the bank told me, she said, you know, the first thing they don't get black women hired. I said, what, girl? She said, they hair. I said, why? She said, because they got braids and then they don't take care of them. So you was a black sister with a white spirit down. You trying to look in on black sisters looking down. What she should have did is pull that black sister to the side and say, yo, sister, can we do that? Can you get your hair so you can go and get this job? That's what we got to learn to do, because the racism is alive and it's well, and it's every day, all day, 24/7, but it don't change the color of our skin. That will never change. But if we as people reflect back on ourselves and start having that hatred towards ourselves and start loving our own self instead of reflecting that negativity, then maybe we will have that same enhancement that other people carry with their other people. White people, they got their own grocery stores, Koreans, Asians, Hispanics, whatever. But when it comes to black people, we just got to sit up and throw our hands and say, I don't want a part of that. You need to be a part of what you originally supposed to be with. This whole planet, let's keep it 100. And people want to say whatever. I will never take back the fact that it was built off of black men and black women's hands. Point blank serious. It was slavery all the way down. That's why you brought us over here. But what we won't do, if we can get out that mentality, because it ain't white man keeping you down. It's your own mentality with your white mentality that's keeping you down, because you can't get past that. What I decided not to do, no white person gonna walk up on me and call me a nigga. No white person gonna come up and say anything negative to me. I'm an activist through and through, and I fight for what I believe in. And when I fight, I will fight 100% for my own race before I fight for any race. Now that's for real. And when I fight like I'm with them. That's what makes me a good activist, because I don't stop until I win. But what you won't do, you won't try to put me down or make me feel some kind of negative way because my color of my skin, or you don't like my hair, or you may not like the way I talk. I done heard where black men have walked into bars and they dragged that one black man just because he was black. So you want to drag him? What did that accomplish? But then if somebody came back and did the same thing, we would be an angry group of people. What we need to do is project that anger into of love and understanding. And if we progress that, we can have all that everyone else have in our own communities. But you can't talk about it. You really got to be about it.
This lady's speaking facts over here. That's why I said her opinion is always needed and very much valued here in Geneva's Closet. Absolutely. And I agree with Miss Berry, with Essie. I said that wrong. Excuse me. Please do. Okay, thank you very much. And Ty said, long and short of it, I teach my sons the things that he needs to learn to make him aware. I teach him things he needs for his protection, but I also affirm and confirm with his daily that he is great and deserving of anything and everything this world has to offer, that he is qualified and favored to have. Period, points, and all types of blanks, people. You know, basically, that's what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. That, of course, we got to let our kids know what's going on, because you don't want to just send some naive kids out in the world, and there's so much going on in the world. So you want to let them know, but dang, you don't want to pound them on the head with white people, they don't like you, you know, you may not get the job because you're not because white, because you're black, and the blah, 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 blah. Just stop it. Stop. Because we are never going to get anywhere as a whole if we keep being negative. Because, you know, period. Just like when we talk one-on-one, we have one-on-one conversations, and it goes a little something like this. The words you speak and what you believe is powerful. And I think as a whole, black people, the things that they have been telling us, you know, that we're ugly, dark-skinned, your hair, you know, you're not favored, you can't get anything. And we keep speaking that as a whole. I mean, we keep making movies on racism, for God grief's sake. I mean, I was just watching that Them and Us, and I was so confused on the Them and Us on Netflix, or Us and Them. I was like, why did you even make that? I thought we were finna have a whatever that movie was. I thought that these black people was finna be like, I'm not finna deal with this racism. And they was finna put the foo-fops on the white people. But that ain't what happened. The woman got thrown in the nut home. The husband got his fingers cut off. At the end of Them and Us, Us and Them, I was trying to figure out, why did I watch it? And what was the purpose of this? To show us again about how black people was treated? I don't need to see it no more. I don't need to see. I already know. You don't need to make not another movie about a race, and stop pounding it in us. We already know. We will teach our children. I will tell my grandchild that our ancestors were slaves. If that's what you want us to do, then okay. Okay. I will tell my grandchildren that they were slaves, okay? But stop pounding it in us, because the black people energy, negative energy on us and what we can accomplish and what we can overcome is seriously negative. And we just keep putting this around our whole. And I think that's why we can't really come up as a whole, because what we believe and what we say is powerful. Not only one-on-one, but as a unit. That shit is powerful. But say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Hey, say it louder. I'm black and I'm proud. Hey. Power to the people. Power to the people. Yes, Django. I'm sorry. That's it, Django. That's it. Sad because Django took his future. Girl, AJ, that's what I thought the Us and Them, the Them and Us was going to be in the movie. When the mama had told her daughter that I, you know, whipped them white people's, you know, whatever, I was like, okay, this going to be like a Django, because I can appreciate Django. When Jamie Foxx came in there and put the foo-fops on them slave people, I was like, come on now. Because you never see that. I was like, come on. So I thought this was going to be that movie. And well, I was so disappointed. I was like, so what did I sit up here and watch this for? I mean, like, no one overcame. Like, right at the end of the movie, they all standing there as a family, I guess, finna be arrested by the police. I don't know. It wasn't even a happy ending.
I want to say congratulations that you watched that damn movie, Them and Us. The first show I watched when them white women sat in front of that chick house, it would have been over. Sitting in front of my house like that, like you finna put me out my house? Baby, I would have shut the whole street down. When I saw them white women sitting in front of that black woman house like she was supposed to be there, that whole shit was over for me. I'm just saying. And that's true what Geneva said. They had a picture called, a show called Underground, season 1 and 2. It was a good, I loved Underground myself. Y'all might want to go watch it because John Legend, he the one who did it, whatever, right? But they got mad because the slaves were killing the masters. It ain't no more than the master did to the slaves. Now you mad because the slaves overcoming? Because if shit like that come this time around, it's going to be like that and then more. So we can never go back to that. So you can't get angry because black people are fed up. And I'm with Geneva. I don't ever want to see it because every year they play Roots. I know every black person in this world don't watch Roots. And every time black folks watch Roots, we get an attitude with white folks because we thinking you liking that and you supposed to be talking to us that way. That's why I'm like I am, because I'm not even going to hear that day at all. I can't. And if it came back to it, I'd probably be a dead slave. My hands be cut off, my feet be cut off, and they'd be calling me Kunta Kinte's sister because I'm still going for what I need to freedom. Just saying.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied on that one. You don't know what you know, because that's that thing in the movie where the that them and us and them, where the black man, I guess, basically was saying, and what was that, like his alter ego, the Blackface Man? I don't even know. I mean, I'm assuming that was the other part of him, the coonery. I'm assuming part of him. And the black man was basically like that. If it was or if it was me, I would have handled them this way. You know, like I wouldn't have let them cut my fingers off. And he was like, no, you wouldn't have. You would have took that, you know, right? Sometimes we'd be like, if it was us, we would have. I don't know what I would have did. You know, at that time, I don't know. Ty said Underground was great. Now, Underground, is that the one that the woman was sleeping with the white slaveholder? And then, okay, that one was good, but didn't they cancel that? Because in that one, I felt like season 2, oh, okay. Because that one, I was enjoying it too, because I was, you know, because we get so, I mean, because we already know how the story went. The story went that the slaveholders got the best of the slaves. Even though we know that there's some stories where the slaves probably got the best of the slaveholders, but we getting tired of keep seeing it where the slaves was getting beat down. We want to see some stuff where the slaves rise up and get the slaveholders. So yeah, I was appreciating that with Underground. And yeah, and then I thought they discontinued. Like I didn't even know it still went on. So I guess I missed some episodes basically. Essie, was you finna say something?
I was gonna say that about Underground. They did the 2 seasons, but you know what? When Geneva was saying about the masters, we always see that where the masters sleep with the black women, dogging the black women, beating the black women in submission. I would have rather been out there in the damn field if you really want to know the truth on 100%, because at the end of the day, those things existed, but it was some slaves too. I forgot what it was named, where they said Rise Up. It was called Rise Up or something like that. Where, tell me who it is, y'all. You know it because I watched it, and it was a true story about a slave, and they killed and raped his wife, and he just went and he just started taking masters out. And they caught him at the end, and they killed him, but it was just a point of what we had to reflect and go back to now. That's why I try to separate myself from any negative energy, because us as black people, y'all got to realize we done went through a lot just to know our descendants and our ancestors went through it. Why are we putting ourselves through the same thing? Can't we show some positive stuff that's going on instead of all the negative energy that goes on? Go, G.
I'm sitting up here like they canceled it because it was too expensive to produce. Produce what? They in the fields acting like slaves or whatever. I mean, you mostly in grass sceneries. Well, it was too much to do the grass scenery, but then you're going to do them and us and them and make that whole. I knew I shouldn't have watched that. I should not have watched that them and us and them. Each episode, I was literally sitting there cringing. Like, should I watch this? I'm like, maybe there's something good that's going to come out of this. And then after watching that whole thing, I sat there like I shouldn't have never wasted my time with this. This was just a bunch of negative, same old stuff. I mean, just same thing. Same thing. Like, you just get sick of it after a while. Miss Berry can say something.
Birth of a Nation, Nat Turner, that movie there, that shit was powerful. And I don't know if she was talking about your movie or she was talking about Underground Railroad or whatever, but Jesse Smollett, his sister, she went on Instagram on a rant and said they canceled it because they got upset that there was too many black folks killing off the masters and stuff like that, and they didn't want to show their hostility. That's what happened. So they didn't want black folks to show where they was rising up. So that's why they didn't do another season. And that's like stereotype because black folks did rise up and we overcame. So don't just like shun us down now. Let me say this before we go back. When Geneva was talking about something right now, they finna try to pass a bill. And no disrespect to anybody. Please don't take this to offense. But they're trying to get an anti-bill in California to the point that, like, if you see somebody beating up an Asian or anti-terrorist whatever act, then you could call and then they'll give you a reward if you report the crime or whatever. But in my mind, and I understand that because people are mad because of coronavirus, but what the hell happened to the black anti situation that we can't get beat down like that? Our kids getting beat down, husbands getting beat down, uncles getting beat down, women getting beat down by cops, or whoever the case may be. Where's our anti-program that we can get so somebody can call when you see a black person being beat down the street? All I'm saying is when you start section stuff off like that, because I know they got deals with Asians, I know they got their deals with whoever else y'all dealing with, but understand black people are in this world too, and we need more protection instead of people just talking about it and not doing what they should do.
Cher said the guy who made Chad, who's the guy who made Get Out? That's the who Johnny P. You know, old boy. You know the light skinned guy. What's his name?
Pierce.
Johnny P. Chad, you're not even helping.
Hold on.
He is not even assisting me at all with trying to. Come on, Chad. Johnny Pierce. Jordan Peele. He's over here with. It said Johnny Pierce. John Jacob Jr. Jordan Peele. Well, Jordan Peele did a horrible job with them and us and them, because I did not like that at all. I agree totally with Essie. That's why they did it, because they didn't want us to see the slaveholders getting the Foo Fighters put on them. But that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to say something about the Nat Turner thing. Nat Turner movie, my opinion on that is they could have did a better job on that, because I wanted to see the slaves throw hands on the slaveholders, and as soon as the slave looked like they was finna throw, I mean, like the movie ended, so I didn't get a fair amount of put hands on the slaveholders. I need like a nice amount, like the amount that we got in Django Unchained. That deserved a standing ovation. Somebody said that already. AJ, they should have an Oscar for the things that Jamie Foxx did in that movie. I need a nice balance of slaves going in on the slaveholders, like we got the slaveholders doing to the slave. And if it ain't a good balance, then you know y'all are like geniuses. I can't never figure out a name, and y'all be in there. Peele, Geneva Peele, Jordan Peele. Oh, this girl can't never get it. I can't. But thank God for y'all. Let's see what Essie got to say.
I sorry. Damn. What I was saying, we ain't slaves no more. It ain't like back in the day. So we have to change what we've already been through. And that's what I try to do and everybody else. And I understand what Geneva was saying. She don't want her son to walk outside, and the first thing when he see a cop, he gonna freeze. But unfortunately, because of that, you know, that it makes it kind of difficult. They kind of wake it up now, knowing not to run up on black folks like they were. And if they don't, you guys always get out your phone and start taping. I had somebody say, don't start that pro-black shit. I don't know what pro-black shit is. I know if a cop walking up on me and I don't think you're right, I'm gonna start taping you, and then I'm calling the chief in the other hand. You just got to know your rights, and whatever going on. Like sometimes when people, I know, is when you get into a situation, you get all hysterical. Why get hysterical with the cop? Because you're already upset. The thing of that is, you don't have to get hysterical. You could just be calm, or whatever the case may be at that time. Race plays a big part of our everyday world. We know that as black people, but it's up to us to decide what choice we make, the decision we make, and how we handle situations a little bit better when we're in them, especially with our own people.
Chad said beat the game. Okay, so do you want to throw in a few words, right? Because he chiming in on what Essie said. He like, for real, beat the game. Okay, so do you want to throw in some words of something while I'm putting up people comments? What you want to say on the side?
Come on, Chad. Come on, Chad.
He probably ain't gonna come on camera, so y'all just to get an audio. What you gonna say?
No, I was just saying I agree with what Essie is saying.
Okay.
If you know a situation is going to happen a certain way, then just play the game until you can play it how you want to play it. So what that means is, if you know what aspects certain people control, how police officers act, be different, catch them off guard. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we all playing the game to win, and we already know how certain people have advantages and whatnot, and so on and so forth. But let's just not play into that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, don't play into it. Just play the game knowing how it's gonna happen, because we already know. We've seen it. We've seen history has shown us. We've seen what people have done. We've seen how people treat certain people, how people treat black people. We know all of this. So just play the game accordingly. You know what I mean? And the thing is, what makes it easy to play the game is when you know who you are historically, when you know the value that you hold, when you know how special you are, and you know that you're an original. You know you. So when you know all that stuff, and you have that history placed where it should be, and it changes the way that you act, changes the way that you respond to things.
Speak up, Chad.
Changes the way that you think, how you interact with people. It's just like not lending your energy to stupidity or things that are insignificant. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just being above a situation because you already know the output. You know what I mean? So if you already know what's going to happen, if you play the situation a certain way, just play it into your benefit. That's it. It doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart.
As far as what?
Okay, as far as life, being black, because Essie said, you know how they treat certain people and the police and stuff like that. That's what I do. It doesn't make me hard to be aggressive and then possibly making the altercation even larger, and then me getting shot and killed, and I can't come back to my family.
Right.
Because then if I died, even if I was hard, nobody would know that I was hard. Or, I get no credit and no points nowhere for that. It doesn't make me raw or anything like that. So that's what I'm saying. If you already know how a situation is going to turn out, just let it be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just let it happen.
Right.
Not saying
because I think that they probably. So maybe they maybe this whole knowing your rights just needs to be balanced out, because ever since the whole thing came out where black people, like people know their rights and black people like, I know my rights, they kind of took it and went a little crazy with it. So the know my rights became, I know my rights, I ain't gotta listen to you, I don't gotta whatever, but what's your badge and what's your, so maybe it just needs to be balanced out, like you know your rights, but you don't gotta be extra.
That's a beautiful point. That's a great reference you just made. And the reason why knowing your rights and knowing the position to play will allow you to know that the reason why police do what they do is because police don't serve the Constitution. Police are policy officers. So they enforce policies and protocols and ordinances, violations. All of those things are ticketable offenses that make the municipals money. So that's what police are there for. So then when a person comes and say, oh, I know my rights, I know this, you can't do that. Police don't really act in a constitutional fold because they're really not sovereigns themselves, and they're police, aka policy officers. They enforce policies. That's why they all have jurisdictions. They can't go cross boundaries and stuff like that. So knowing that, okay, if they infringe upon your constitutional rights, there's a way to handle that. Like if you have a recorder, just record the situation. Okay, officer, no problem. Yep. So then that doesn't escalate the situation.
Yeah.
And then once they've left, then you file a report and you hit them where it really hurts. You know what I mean? You get them negative publicity. You go to the precinct, you write a letter. You can have those charges brought up in court if it's infringing upon your constitutional rights or your civil rights. But if you argue with them from a municipal level or a level where it's a policy, that's the same thing like going to Target and arguing with Target over Target's policies, or Walmart or Kmart's no more, but any other department store. In their store, they can do whatever they can do whatever it is that they want to do.
They can.
And then you can say whatever you want to say, but it's their store. Those are their policies. It doesn't have to be law for their policies to have, what it is that they have. And it's just like police. That's why we have a Supreme Court, and that's why we have driving court, or traffic court rather, and you have other municipal, stuff like that. there's all different levels for those things.
Absolutely. I mean, you came in here and dropped some knowledge. You gotta start playing with them today, tonight, this Sunday evening. You know, my man gonna come in here, drop that little knowledge on y'all right quick. Let's see what Miss Essie gotta say.
You know, I love my brother Chad because it's real for what he say. We got to realize too, the system is corrupt every day, all day, whether it's in court, out of court, police officers or not. So you just got to pick your battles and choose them wisely. You know, I'm just telling you, when a police officer pulled me over, point blank simple, I'm pulling out the camera, I'm asking for a badge number. That's me, because I know the law. Everybody can't do that, but I will still start filming first. I do have clients right now, people that I know back in there, whatever. Like a couple weeks ago, somebody got pulled over by a cop. The cop was talking crazy. He immediately had me on speakerphone. I'm dialing the chief police while we're doing it. My job is never done because I'm always there some type of way to try to help someone, because that's what we are here for. And that's what I try to do. And that's the same thing what it just said about being pro-black, giving back. That's why I stand for my people. And I saw what somebody said, some say, why it ain't no attractive pro-black females. What the hell? What do pro-black got to be doing with being attractive? I mean, if you ugly as hell, as long as you're pro-black, you should be happy with that. You know what I'm saying? Pretty will only go so far. Attractive will only go so far. You can be attractive and you ain't saying nothing. You ain't making no difference. You ain't making no statement. You ain't changing nothing. Then your attractiveness and your prettiness is damn wasted. You know, fortunately me, I got it all. But I'm just saying. There we go.
Silly, I know, right? Period, poo. Period, poo. Right, why aren't there, DJ SMJ1 asked the question, why aren't there very attractive pro-black females? Now, you know what? DJ SMJ1, since you threw
what
it
you
out
trying
there,
to say? What you trying to say?
Since you threw that out there, there is something that me and Chad have questioned. So I'm pretty sure that if it's something we question, that a lot of black people out there probably said the same thing. And black people, let me just throw this disclaimer out. I love all of y'all, dark skin, light skin, in between, whatever color you are, it doesn't matter. But it's just a question, you know, because we've just been observing some things. For me, it's not a matter of why aren't there any attractive pro-black females. I just be trying to figure out, why do most of the pro-black women that we do see, they be like light skinned. Have you ever noticed like a lot of pro-black people are like super light skinned or like mixed or something? Even a lot of the pro-black on the guy side, it always seems like it's just some super light-skinned people. Sometimes they'll pop out with them color eyes. What's old boy name? Jesse who?
Williams.
Jesse Williams, right? That was something when Jesse Williams had came on, what was that, BET or whatever, and he gave that black speech about what black people and what white people and what the industry not doing for, and we were like, because that was a bomb diggity speech. But I was like, where is the dark skin? Come on, dark skins. You know, come on, brown skins. And I don't know, like, why is that important? Why is that important? I don't know. Maybe because out of black people in whole, it was always the dark skinned people that was always probably talked about the most, is dark skinned black people. So then you would think that if it's something with black issues, the black of the black, that it would be the dark skinned people would probably be the main ones. But I don't know, like maybe they kind of oppressed and they just, I don't know. And then the light skinned people, like, I ain't got a problem with speaking my truth. I'll come speak for all the black people. Right? Because isn't it like that a lot? Okay, now what's your opinion? Chad got an opinion on that. But you're going to have to come closer because they didn't talk. You know, you're going to have to put your voice in.
I heard it.
Situation.
Wait. You said what? Say that.
I said, I don't know what's wrong with people's speakers, because he's coming real clear. Turn your speakers up on your computer. That may be what it is, because he was talking pretty loud and pretty clear.
Turn your speakers up. Essie heard everything fine. Okay, go ahead, Chad.
I just think that the reason why that is, more times than less, is because light-skinned people are better for television in the eyes of the industry. So that's why you see more so when there's a community issue or it's something that's referenced with black, they give a light-skinned or mixed person the the floor in order to address the issue because it's better for TV. You know what I mean? Like, so more times than less, you don't see a whole bunch of dark skin or brown skin people that the industry televises because that's too close to black. And I think they do try to enforce a separation between ethnic people with the light skin and dark skin. So I think that's like an agenda to kind of go over people's head, or just try to make it seem a certain way where we can just be separate and divided.
Yeah. Right, because Ty threw out some names. Angela Rye, Don Lemon, Jesse Williams, and there's even a few on YouTube that are pro-black. And look, I ain't talking about nobody, but this is like super light skin and be talking some true stuff as far as pro-blackisms. But you just be like, where the dark skinned people? You think would be dark skinned people? I mean, like, where's their opinions at?
The light skinned men, and this is no disrespect or taking away from what they've done and what they've contributed.
Right, and not at all.
The light skinned, what is his name? Thurgood.
Thurgood. Oh, that is true. Even back in the day.
But he has a school. You know what I mean? Like they have.
That is true.
And then WEB.
You ain't lying.
It's very light skinned, but then.
And wasn't Malcolm light skinned too? They called him red. So
again, there's no disrespect to those brothers that have contributed and have done a lot for the political and economic movement for black people or whatnot. But there just seems to be light skin, and then that comes from the whole slave thing. With them being mixed and then coming out of slavery, and then it being a little bit easier. A little bit easier for them to to be with white people, to interact and commingle with white people. They're a little bit more accepted. You know what I mean? So I think that Hollywood kind of mirrors certain things with old time, and slavery and stuff like that by being mixed or light skin is a little bit more acceptable. Having straight hair, especially on TV, because it's not as ethnic. We're giving you some color, but not fully. And again, that's no disrespect to people that are mixed or have straighter hair. You know what I mean? We're just simply stating an observation. But from my perspective, it just seems like, if there is something that's ethnic, that has to do with ethnic issues and problems, there tends to be only mixed and light-skinned people, very, very light-skinned people, that usually address those type of situations from a television standpoint.
Mrs. Well, I'm assuming this is Mrs. 005 said the reason when you're dark, the reason why is because when you're darker, you're seen as troublesome, and light people are given a green light on issues which is what you were saying, right? And this is not going against nobody, right? Because we don't want to but it's just a question, because I think some black people probably do question that. So I'm just throwing that out there, and either it has been a question of yours or you didn't even give a damn. So you're like, I don't even know what the hell Geneva talking about. But now we're gonna see what Miss Essie has to say.
I'm up here looking at my damn color now, cause what the hell? I'm like. That you light skinned and you are activist, and I wonder how many. I never wanted that. I never even thought of that. Like, what the hell? But now I'm gonna pay that attention. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I'm like them. I don't see color. I didn't even know. I'm just like, I'm a black woman. You know what I'm saying? But what she did point out some true facts to what Geneva was saying. Those are true facts. But I really never really looked at it like that. And I think, too, the people that are biracial, that are lighter, that has, I got some in me. She got some in her. We got some up in us because we wouldn't be this light. Black Africans, now, no disrespect, I love my African people, but they don't like true Americans. An African told me that. She said, y'all not pure breed. So because I'm a little light, that makes I'm not me now, pure breed. I didn't tell nobody to go mess with my ancestors or my descendants. It just happened, and wherever. And one day we're going to do that genealogy thing on me for sure, because I need to know where all this powerfulness came from. Whatever my skin look like on the outside, baby, is this all the way on the end. I'm just all the way. Is that right there? That if I could put that like that, that's what color would be. So I'm just saying. Go, Geneva.
You know, I was sitting up here, right. I had to look at Chad when Essie said that, like, she said that she never even want, you know, because Essie just being who she is. She just being black. Right. She ain't like, well, I'm light skinned, so I don't know if certain things, no, yeah, right. And then it's funny because certain of us, you know, sit back and like, not that, like I said, we got a problem with who is who, but just trying to figure out, like, where is all the chocolate people at? Chocolate people. Why y'all ain't setting up activisms and on pro-black rights? But whatever, it is what it is. But I just threw that out there. What, you finna say something else?
I want to add this little tidbit in there.
Okay.
I feel, my personal opinion.
Okay.
The reason why there's so much separation and division upon us, even being, you know, because black people are comprised of all different colors of shades of brown.
That's true.
Is because we're not unified and bound by tradition, culture, customs, and language. So because we don't have those things, we're not integrated and looked at as one people. Because we don't have that tradition, that culture, those customs that were set by our ancestors, and those roots and those foundations, you know, to stand upon, we don't see everyone collectively as the same people. We sometimes, not all, but sometimes some of us look collectively by ourselves instead of the whole of a particular people.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I think that's why we look at individual, or that person light skinned, and then we talk about each other. You know, people that are light skinned talk about people that are dark skinned, make fun of their skin color, like you were referencing, you know, previously. People that's dark skinned say, well, y'all light and y'all not as thorough because y'all light skinned and y'all had, you know, and it just separates the people.
It does.
Because there's no foundation that groups all of us together and says these are the premises of the culture and the tradition. And if you are these people, this is how we should act. This is how we should raise our children. Here's our language to speak. These are our customs. This is what our ancestors do. This is how we treat each other. This is how we raise our daughters to be wives. This is how we raise our sons to be husbands properly. You know, this is how we date. This is how we court our women. This is how we treat our husband. We have none of that. You know, some men is doing what they want to do. Some women are independent. They don't need a man. Some men don't want to be with one woman. They want to be with a whole bunch of women. You know.
Just keep on adding. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, some men are not there for the kids. The kids raise up and they wild when they grow up and stuff like. It's just all true. It's everywhere for us.
There's a little
but that one thing, tradition, culture, is why you look at Africans, and when Africans come over, they stay in a group. And they come to America and they get really good jobs and they go to school and get education.
They do.
Because there's tradition and culture there. And the culture and tradition says that my parents have been doing this all this time. This is how we're going to act. This is how we're going to deal with things. This is how we're going to progress in life. And this is how we're going to make it. That's why every other country of people come here, and it seems economically why they do so well. Asians come here and they have so much of the wealth here. You know, people from India, you see them with certain businesses that the government gives them, you know, to be here. People from Pakistan, Arabs, Middle East, everybody comes here because they are a country. They have tradition, custom, culture, language. And so when you take all of those things, fundamentally, you come somewhere else, you can put that template down, and then you can have a foundation. Whereas black people was treated a certain way, and then, you know, kicked out and then said, okay, well, y'all figure it out and y'all do y'all thing. So everybody trying to figure it out by themselves. We don't have unification and unity amongst each other because we've lost touch of our culture and our roots. And then we're in a place in America where
Yeah. I'm always clicking myself out. Always. Right. I'm always clicking myself out. Right. Chad do not have a YouTube channel. They want to know if he have a YouTube channel. But he supposed to be coming on here speaking with me and stuff sometime. Sitting in the back. Keisha and them said, they said straight facts. Chad, Cher said straight facts. Ty said colorism is probably worse because of the mixing of races. Like maybe our white genetics play a part in why blacks can never seemingly be on one accord. I do kind of agree with that. Chad says systemic programming. Essie finna say something.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know about nobody else, but like every time I seen a light skinned woman in the slave house, I got pissed. I don't know why that is. So I'm just saying, I'd rather be out there with the dark folks. I'm just keeping that shit 100. I get upset. So and I'm still stuck with this color shit because I'm like, damn, it's like. But I mean, even when I see slavery movies, I didn't like seeing them light skinned chicks up in the slave house while you got the black folks out there picking cotton. I rather go out there and help the black folks pick cotton. At least I'm being free and I'm in the air and ain't nobody watching me. So it's just a lot of things. And two, that mixed race thing. I think a lot of light-skinned people, because they are biracial and you can see it within them of both genes, they feel like they have something to prove because you are of a mixed race and I want my black to stand out because you approve at this time. Your white folks want you to be approved as white people because you biracial, but now I want my black ethnicity to stand out over here, which is fine, but you got to pick and choose which one because I don't know who in the hell made that up about if your daddy black, the kid black, or if you the dad black and the mama white, that means you got to take the daddy race. Who the hell made that up? If the kid is black, got a white daddy, a black mama, a black daddy, a white whatever, it's a biracial kid. It shouldn't be able to worry about what gene should it take because the daddy white. So I wonder if it was a black woman, she got a white pappy. Is you gonna tell her to take that race too? So we done had so many things told to us, and we done got a program in our mind. That's why I became an activist, because I don't get programmed too quick, because a lot of stuff just didn't make sense. And that's what we have to question ourselves first on. What makes sense to you and what don't? Because you got light skin and your pretty eyes and stuff, that don't mean you always gonna get through that door. Because I haven't got through it. You see what I'm saying? Unless I want to get through it. So I'm just saying, you got to pick and choose your battles, but straight up, 100%. If I had a choice, and they had the dark-skinned people over here, and the Africans real like that, and they got all them little light-skinned booty chicks over there, I'm going with the Africans. I'm going with the darkest that I can find. You know why? Because they're going to struggle, and they're going to try, and not trying to be funny, maybe like they feel like we're more privileged because we've always handed something or we've always been given something because of how we are. But we need to take that and look past that. And colorism is what you make it, because I'm still looking at, I never thought about that people look at it like that. Well, how Geneva and Chad just pointed out, I never did an activist because all I saw is red when you come to me and you another skin color and you saying anything disrespectful to me or my people, that's when I come for you. It didn't even matter who you were, light skin, dark skin, whatever. Go, G.
I think Chad finna say something else. Can you
I believe, in my opinion, the greatest way that we can overcome a lot of the generational curses that has happened to us is if we were to slow down and, number one, raise our daughters to not be independent, but to be wives and family structure, and start to set a tradition and raise our sons to be husbands. And listen to me. And then for men that are dealing with women,
he said, listen,
women have to have the standards so that the man will follow the standards of courting that woman. Have children when you're in love, and we need to stop effing each other. Like, I want to get with this girl and I want to F her, shorty look thick as hell, all of that. That has to stop. We have to start dealing with each other in a way of courting and a way of love and respect. So that when you bring new life into this world, the man and the woman can have a stable foundation for that next generation of leaders to thrive and to grow and prosper in. So then in that household, could you just imagine if we taught our daughters how to be wives and we taught our sons how to be husbands? Can you imagine how they would deal with each other in future generations? If we showed them the way, but they would have to see that in the household. The Most High gave, you have to have a woman, you have to have a husband and a wife in order to give balance. Women do the best they can to raise the children. Men do, usually see single mothers more so than single fathers.
Right.
But women do the best that they can, but there's still going to be an imbalance because that's not how it was created to be, by themselves. So a lot of the mentality has to die off in order for us as an entirety of people to elevate and to move forward.
That's very true.
Because that's the biggest issue. I feel like people look at Chicago like, oh, Chicago is so bad. It's these young dudes out there with no fathers that's gangbanging.
It is.
If they had fathers there, the likelihood and the percentage of people gangbanging would be a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had a strong family structure, which was removed from us, from the 60s and 70s, because we had a lot better family structure in the 60s, 70s, and 50s. Now, when the 80s and 90s came, you know what Ronald Reagan did. I won't go all off into
Reagan.
politics.
Okay, but let me ask you your question though. So those are the things that black people, that we need to do as a whole to come up and for things, for our kids, whatever. Do you think that's gonna happen within the next 10, 20 years? Do you think that it's going to be like that? The black people going to be more unified? We're going to be blah, 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 based on the way things are going now, based on the way that you see the generations and stuff going now. What do you think the next 10, 20 years hold for our kids, grandkids?
I think that black people are coming up as a people. I really do. I think that the things that we see on TV is an isolated perspective of what they want you to think the entirety of the people are. So if the media can grab a hold to your mentality and widespread it and cause you to feel a certain way about your own people, then of course that's how you're going to feel. Systemic programming. You know what I mean? But entirety, you're seeing more brown-skinned people graduating and getting degrees, becoming lawyers, becoming doctors, having businesses, making it into the millions and whatnot. So I'm just talking about financially. We're talking about economically now. You do see the uprise in black men and women.
That is true.
Especially in entrepreneurialism. So with that being said, I think in the next 10, 20 years that there will continue to be an uprise in that.
Yeah.
I do believe that, despite all what they say. Now, some of these Negroes that's hard-headed, that run around and they want to hurt each other and kill each other and, gang violence, while understanding people being a product of their community, while understanding that, there still has the like I said, the biggest thing is family. The family is the foundation.
That is true.
That is the structure. You have to have your family in place.
Family is the way. That basically Chad said it. He gave his opinion. Chad gonna have to come on camera because we on camera. Now he can only do audio when we audio assassin, but when we on camera, he gonna have to bring himself on. You coming on? He like, no, I'm not coming.
You know what? I think this was a very interesting topic, but then I have to say something to all our black sisters that's watching us today and all around the world. We as women, we place these people here. Every person that touched this earth, women put them here. And us as black women, we have been through a lot now, here, before time, and everywhere else. We as one can come together in unity. And when you see women form together as unity, especially black women, I think a lot more will come together. When we say that we need a household with a woman that can show her child how to be a daughter or a man or whatever, a woman can't teach a boy how to be a man. You can show him what a woman wants, but you can't teach him how to be a man. And as far as a woman, we can instill everything that we need to instill within our women, within our household or whatever, but it first got to come from within you. And that's with anybody or anything. So at the end of the day, I think before we start pointing fingers, sometimes we start looking at ourselves, grab a hold of our own household, go back to what we really know, what we originate, which is foundation, morals and principles, which a lot of us don't carry. If we carry those and we know what's best for us, we know how valuable we are, you know what your worth is, you know what you value at, you know that you a queen, or you know that you raising kings and queens. If you know that you're raising kings and queens, then you know who you are, you know your foundation. Don't let someone put some in your head because it's a cycle. Like, you could tell my cycle broke. And I had saw somebody ask me, have I dated out my race? I've never dated out my race. I've never dated nobody but black men. But because of the position I am in right now, would I date a white boy, a white man? I probably would. But he better come straight correct with me, and I would have to ask questions before I even go that way. But because of how I am, and I am pro-black, don't mean I won't step out of my race if I want to do that. I'm just saying. So there it is.
She said she made a little dibble and a dabble a little bit. She ain't never did it before, but you know, it's a new time, people. We living in different times, okay? Hey to everybody. I mean, like, this has really been a good conversation. We had a very good conversation. We just threw 2, maybe 3 in. I don't even know, but this worked out really good. And I would like to talk about that. Maybe next time me and Essie come on to have one of these open discussion conversations. Because when we do come on to do this, we're going to try to figure out a topic. Now, whether we stay on that topic or not, we probably won't. But we're probably going to try to pick a topic and start off with that. But I would like to talk about that one drop rule. Because I remember, that's why I said that that's one thing that I do love about life. Y'all gonna have to excuse me though for people that's been following me, because you may have heard me speak on one thing a few years ago, and now my whole view on that has changed. Because I remember just a few years ago we were talking about this drop of black thing, and if the father is black, then the child is black, and all of that type of stuff. And back then, you know, like, I believed it, but I didn't. It was something that was kind of male-ish about that some man wrote that, you know, that a lot of these sayings and teachings, I think, would just be teachings and stuff of men, and they just want you to believe, you know, because that one drop black rule where black men, because that's what the black men were saying. The black men were saying that it don't matter who you sleep with. You could have slept with a Korean, a white, or whatever the father is, that's what the child was. And I believe that a lot of that talk just came with black men wanting to be able to sleep with whoever they wanted to sleep with. They wanted to be able to sleep with the Puerto Rican, because a lot of that talk was being done through that Hebrew Israelite-ism stuff. And so, okay, so the black women can only be with the black women. But black men, they can sleep with any. There's all types of women. It don't matter. Just as long as he black, then the child is black. Oh, whatever. That's just a whole bunch of male sex talk. Just want to sleep with anybody. So that's the great thing about life. You can start off believing one thing, and then in a year or two or something, then change your whole viewpoint on that. Something you want to say?
I wanted to say, like, when you just said that, it made me think of how we don't know it came from the master. They would sleep with so many black women. You didn't want them to know that was your pappy to that baby. So now you're a white man with a black baby. So I ain't the pappy of that baby. That was another. So that's what made me think of what they came with that rule, that somewhere along the line, because it was so many white men sleeping with black women having biracial babies, and then you don't want to claim the baby, but that's your breed or your stock, as you call them. So that could be a scenario of that too, just saying.
Very true. It could have been a slave people. We don't even know. But even if it was a slave people, whether it was slave people, I believe it was a man. Now that I believe in totality, it got something to do with being able to sleep with whatever woman you want to be able to sleep with. If they said she needs you, I need you, Miss Berry. Well, just make sure if you need Miss Berry, you can go right on over to civil rights activist, essieberry@gmail.com. You can just email her at civilrightsactivist, essieberry@gmail.com, or you can go follow her and send her a message on Instagram or Facebook or whatever at Essie Berry. But this was a really good conversation. I think I'm pretty much done. We've been on here for a while. We're going to see if Miss Essie have anything that she want to say so we can kind of wrap this up for you. But let me say this before I bring Essie on, that we have decided that we're going to come on, we're going to be a little more consistent. Now we've said that before. And that all got something to do with the consistency. People say, all got something to do with consistency. But basically, we're going to try to be a little bit more consistent. And that's consistent with coming on, showing our faces. Not just doing the audio thing, but so you can get all of this. Get all of this melanated stuff over here, over there. Just all this black woman polliness over here. So we're going to be doing that. And we will totally be coming on. And when we get done with this video, as soon as we get done with this video, I will be putting up the thumbnail to my research video. Because me and Essie will have our time that we'll come over here, just doing this random talk. We just have an open discussion. People are just talking. That means that during this time, if y'all got something that you want to bring up that's off the topic of whatever, we put it in there. Because this is the time that we're going to do this. And but then me and Essie, or we'll have our research time where I'll do my videos where I done did some research. You know, I done did me a damn near a book report, and I'm about to come on here and show y'all my report, what I found and where I got my information from. So I'm gonna put that thumbnail up right after we get done with this video, and I'm probably gonna try to do that on Wednesday, Thursday. I think I'm going for a Wednesday. I think I'm going for the Wednesday. Well, hey, Samantha girl from Louisiana, we really appreciate you being here. Mrs. 005. Cheryl, did I say Michelle already? Florence, Sonia, Ty, and everyone else that was here, Shayna, and everyone. We appreciate you all being here. Now, let's see what Miss Berry have to say. Miss Essie, just Essie. That's it, just Essie.
That's it. I just want to thank you so much for having me on your beautiful platform. I'm always so honored to be over here with your beautiful self and your intelligent man, my brother. I'm so flattered and honored to be a part of this whole thing, coming out the closet, opening my mouth up, being able to say what I want to say. And much love to everybody who tuned in, and you guys put your comments up there. We really want to thank you guys for that too. I really appreciate it, because when you just come and you guys listen, if it's just one person, one voice can make a difference, one voice can make a change. And really remember what we said about trying to get back to your own root of your own people. You understand what I'm saying? Be pro-black, be more interactive with your own. Not saying it's a bad thing, not saying it's a good thing, but we need to kind of react with our own more so than everybody else. Learn who you about, learn your own culture, get with what you need to get with, because people got all kind of ideas and want to say things, but you know what, at the end of the day, you got to be your own person. You got to choose what you want to choose. And to that, you guys, I say God bless you guys. I'm looking forward to the videos Geneva finna put out. Y'all gonna be so excited, and God bless you guys, and see you in a couple of days. Love you, Chad. Love you, Geneva.
Absolute Mundo. We're going to take Miss Berry off the screen. We loved her. We appreciate having her. Thank you again, people. Make sure that if you haven't already done so, you go over to Geneva's Closet. Whether you go over to Geneva's Closet Facebook page, Instagram page, TikTok, people, I don't even know. You can go over to YouTube, Geneva's Closet community page. And y'all better go get that free Fred Rerun apparel that's only going on for the month of November. After that, that particular design will be taking off. I'm just letting you know. So it's exclusive Fred Rerun Berry apparel coming from Geneva's Closets, validated by Miss Essie Berry, the widow of Fred Rerun Berry from What's Happening Pop Locking. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This was a great live. Oh my God, Mita, I just really love talking to you all. I hope you all stay beautiful, empowered, wishing for the best, speaking nothing but positivity, keeping them negative ass people away from you, because that's what it's all about, keeping that negativity, all of that, keeping as far away from you as possible. Stay tuned for the next video where Geneva does her research. I put out this little book report, and I hope that y'all really love this. And Chad said, right quick, Chad said that when I have ideas of people that I want to do research on, that I should do a poll and ask y'all, which one are you more interested in? So we're going to figure out if I'm going to do that or not, or if I'm just going to make my decision for myself. We'll figure it out. But anyway, people, I love you. Thank you to everybody that's been in the chat, everybody that's watching, even the people that sat in the back and didn't say anything. You ain't said none. You didn't even put a period in the chat. You just said nothing. But that's quite all right, because I don't always say stuff too. But could you please like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me and Essie Berry on Facebook at what? At Geneva's Closet and Essie Berry. And you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. You all have a fabulous Sunday evening. Enjoy your week. People, will be seeing you soon. I'll talk to you later. We're going to say bye to you. Bye. Bye, people. I love you. Have a fabulous evening.